Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Interfaith Vegan Coalition quarterly member meeting. We are here together in October 2025. Hard to believe already. I'm Lisa Levinson, Campaigns Director for In Defense of Animals and co-founder of the Interfaith Vegan Coalition. And I'm here with co-founder Judy Carmen. Hey, Judy. Judy
Hi,
is also,
everybody. Thank you for coming. It's wonderful to see your faces.
it truly is. And Judy is the author of Peace to All Beings and also Homo Ahimsa. And the two of us are actually located at her house today. We just attended the Homo Ahimsa Arising theme for the retreat at Unity Village, the whole planet spirituality retreat that is hosted by the Spiritual Forum, also known as Reverend Carol Saunders, who may be able to join us today to share a little bit about it. If not, we will certainly do the honors.
Yeah, she's driving home right now. She left this morning, so we'll we'll see whether she can join us or not.
Yes. So I think, let's see, I'm wondering if we want to do if we prefer to do the updates first, or we could go into just some business first. Uh, does anybody have a preference? No preference. Maybe we'll start with some business and then we'll move into some updates if that's okay with everybody. We'll definitely have time for them. Again, welcome to those of you we haven't seen in a little while, and also to people who are just tuning in. This is so great. Um, and then we'll do the updates as we do them. We can also um, see how everyone's doing. Okay, maybe. Okay. I know we've done them different ways and people are still joining right now. Um, okay, maybe we'll just start. I'll start with some updates and then maybe we'll do a mix and match. How about that? So we've got first of all, just wanted to welcome everyone. And we do have new members joining us all the time. If you do run into another organization that you think would be a good member, a good fit for our Interfaith Vegan Coalition, please let us know. You can refer them. We're happy to have people join. And the member organizations do sign up and join this monthly or quarterly meeting. And then the individual members, they can join the planning meeting, and also any of our member organizations are welcome to join the monthly planning meeting too. Just wanted to let everyone know that. And also just to say, we are coming into the fall season here in the Northern Hemisphere, and that means something very special for us because this is World Vegan Day on November 1st, and also World Vegan Month will be coming up in November. I'm letting us know because it's the end of October right now, and that is coming up right around the corner. In Defense of Animals is starting a new initiative, which will be uh, celebrating World Vegan Month with lots of webinars and special programs. So I put a link to that in the notes, and I can also put a link to that in our Zoom. It may not be entirely up yet, however. The page is slated to be sent out in our e-news on October 31st. So it may not be up, but if it is, you can check it out right here. I'll put it into the Zoom chat for those of you who are here, and it'll also be in our meeting notes. So here is, I'll just put it in there right now, World Vegan Month. And again, this will be some really interesting programming. And we're doing an interview with Dr. Silas Rao, who is with Climate Healers, one of our member organization to our coalition here. And there's also another one with Dr. Crystal Heath, who some of you may know. She's a vegan veterinarian, and she'll be speaking during that World Vegan Month programming. So again, welcome to everybody who's here. We're going to do our check-ins for all of the member organizations in a little bit. We're starting with some business here. And So our next thing just to share with everyone is that so I put some links to these different events in the World Vegan Month. You can find the events in the link that I just shared in the Zoom invite, and I'll also include the links to the specific webinars that I just mentioned. We also want to offer condolences today to the world, actually, because we have lost a very important animal and environmental advocate, Dr. Jane Goodall. So just really wanted to take a moment and honor her and to share that the Compassion Consortium, one of our member organizations, put together a wonderful, what's called a Sacred Send-Off, which is the title of the book by Reverend uh, Sarah Bowen. And she hosted a lovely gathering of souls to send off Dr. Goodall with honor and grace. And you can watch that recording, the replay of that event. I sent it out to our Google group this morning, and so you'll be able to take a look at that. It's a little ceremony. I contributed a guided visualization to it, but there's a lot of other things that are really wonderful in the ceremony that you can review. Does anyone want to say anything in particular to or about Dr. Goodall in this moment?
This is Charlotte.
Hi,
Hi. Hi, lovelies. Yeah, I just want to thank the great soul that is Jane for setting new precedents for humanity and just sending her so much love and gratitude as she's making her eternal journey, and just knowing that we are continuing her work, and so thankful for her following her heart.
and thank you, Charlotte, for that lovely, um, lovely tribute to Dr. Goodall. And maybe we can just take a moment together and breathe into our hearts and take a nice deep breath. And just have her in our awareness and thank her for her incredible contributions to our planet. And we're truly, truly grateful to her. And then we'll take another breath and then release and then slowly reconnect with everyone here.
Um, so Lisa, if there is a moment, I can say something.
Sure. And this would be in regards to Dr. Jane Goodall.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I just wanted to say that I don't know how many of you like follow or like are connected on social media with Parliament of the World's Religions, but there was a post made specially to pay homage to her, and there is a recording of the talk she like the recording she had sent to the Chicago convening. So in case someone is interested in watching because they did not come to the convening or otherwise, because it's related to like a faith aspect, so it might be relevant for
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nayana.
yeah.
Yes.
Wanted to
If
bring that.
you can place the link into the Zoom chat, or the other option would be, and I will talk a little bit more about this, everyone here can forward or send directly an email to the entire group of over 60 member organizations by sending it out to Interfaith Vegan Coalition member organizations at idausa.org. That's our Google group. And I will place that into the chat so everyone can see it. There are dashes between each word, and that's the only thing to remember. And once you send it out, it will go out to everyone. And I highly encourage everyone to send your newsletters. Um, so thank you, Nayana. We do want to have those special moments to honor Dr. Goodall. And something very interesting was played during the retreat this weekend, which was, I believe you can find this on Netflix, but it was a talk by Dr. Goodall to people after she passed. And she filmed it before, of course. And then it was really her message to the world after she passed, as if she was gone. So it's really remarkable. And I highly suggest listening to that. She has some beautiful messages for all of us.
Yeah, it's very inspiring and to hear that and to know that she recorded that on purpose to be listened to after she passed away. What a giant in our community she was. And the ripples from what she did will go on and on and on. But she's asking us to keep it going, which we will, and we do.
Yes. Thank you so much, Judy, and thank you to everyone for joining. We're going through some business first, and then we'll do some little checking in with everyone. And I believe that, Carol, we were just mentioning, we did a little moment for to honor Dr. Jane Goodall. And Carol is the person who found that lovely, I think it was a Netflix link by Dr. Goodall herself. So once we get that link for you, we will share it out and put it in our notes so you can take a look at that. Wonderful. So we'll continue along on our agenda. We have two letters, and let's see, while we're here, before we get into that next thing, and we had talked a bit about the Unity Village Retreat, and Carol's here. So I was wondering, Carol, would you be willing to say a little bit about the retreat over the weekend? Let's see. If you'd like to do that, I will ask you to unmute if you're available to do it now, or you could do it a little bit later. Hey, Carol.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
Yes,
now?
we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm driving, so I'm doing my best to join in. And nobody wants to see how I look right now, so I've blocked my video. What a privilege and a pleasure it was to create this experience for people. I think it truly is magical. There's something that happens that's very amazing for people. And we really open our hearts. And the focus of this year really was about our own spiritual development and growing to a place where we can be love for everyone and do our best to release our judgments and open our palms from our clenched fists and being like against and upset to really being receptive and giving. Because I truly believe it is from that consciousness, that place in our consciousness, that we're going to create another world, and we're going to be the tipping point. But we have to get to a place, I believe, where we are living unconditional love and inner peace. And so we all love animals, and we all struggle being in this world where not everyone loves animals or sees the divine in them. And yet we must still strive to love everyone where they are. And that doesn't mean that their behaviors are okay, but it does mean that we are holding the high watch. We are the light keepers, the keepers of the flame. And that's really what the retreat's all about. And I think every year we go a little deeper, a little further, and get more connected and just kind of rise in consciousness. So I don't know if that was what you wanted me to say about the retreat, but I'm reflecting on it as I'm on my 9-hour drive home. And I really do encourage people to attend. And it's not because I'm trying to make money off some retreat. It's because we are the ones, and there's something special that happens in a connecting, collaborating way. And everybody goes off, I think, feeling just magnified and more joy-filled and more feeling more equipped to go be the change in the world. So that's how I see it. I was leading the whole retreat, so I hold the energy and the space and everything for everyone. So I am completely exhausted, and I'm looking forward to replenishing myself soon. But I think everyone left feeling very filled.
Absolutely, Reverend Carol. It was fantastic. I've been to all 5 of these, that have happened over the last 5 years, and they've all been wonderful. But I agree that there's a growing going on, and a lot of the same people are coming back to continue their spiritual growth, our spiritual growth. So I cannot thank you enough for keeping this going, and I definitely encourage everyone to come next year. It's the same time in October.
Yeah, I mean, it is a God thing. It is a God thing and a Charles and Myrtle Fillmore thing. They're the co-founders of Unity, who used to teach this stuff in Unity, 125 years ago. So it is a calling. It is something. It is a calling that I continue to answer. At some point, maybe I won't, but right now, it is what is before me. And I was telling somebody, not meaning to puff myself up, but I do think that one of my spiritual gifts, we all have spiritual gifts, and everybody who's there presenting and participating has spiritual gifts. But I think one of mine is creating experiences for people. And I thank God for that experience, that gift, and I'm grateful that I'm able to create this for so many people. And I look forward to people continue to come back and that core continuing to grow. Because it's mysterious, it's magical, and it's just wonderful.
What are the dates for 2026, Carol?
It's the same weekend. I think it's October the 15th through the 18th. So the reason I picked that weekend is, first of all, we always have fabulous weather. And second of all, at Unity Village, it is a really unique point in time where the trees are beginning to turn. The maples are starting to turn red. They were a little late this year, but usually they're a little redder than they were this past weekend. And also the rose gardens are in full bloom, and also the fountains are on, and also we just have fabulous 70-degree kind of weather. So Unity Village is also a magical place, and you could just feel the energy there. So I have one more thing to mention. I think everybody loved the food this year. Everyone usually loves the food, but we don't just feed you. We feed you fabulous food. I'll let Judy and Lisa and anybody else attest to that. But we always get really great feedback on the food.
Yeah, the food was absolutely awesome.
Definitely, we had full tummies. It was very, very yummy. So hopefully we'll be able to see you at some of these other events going forward. And we also had the Compassion Consortium was represented there with
Yes.
a speech from, or more of an interactive
Sarah.
experience with Reverend Sarah Bowen, and then also Silas, who's here during our call today, was there and was part of a panel discussion. So Silas from Climate Healers. And we're happy to have everybody, and we will do more check-ins in a little bit. But I see that Victoria, you would like to share something?
Yeah, for Carol, I don't know if this is etched in granite, the dates for next year, but we actually talked at our last board meeting for the Compassion Consortium that we always meet on the third Sunday. And so, every time somebody is there, we lose personnel. So if it's even possible to consider second or fourth, it would mean a lot, to us.
Well, I can try that. The fourth is not great because the weather changes and the fountains go off. I can look into the second. So I'll consider that. I also have to kind of weigh that. I just told everybody what the dates are. But do you think that more people would come? I mean, really?
Well,
do you think more people would come from Compassion Consortium?
Since we're part of it, it's kind of awkward for us to be telling people to go do this thing instead of coming to the Compassion Consortium, So I just really.
But it really isn't. It really isn't instead. You guys are like, what time on Sunday?
Yeah, we're 3 o'clock Central on Sundays, but
Yeah,
I don't know,
we're
it's just
finishing
come
it.
up and you do it whenever you need to do it, but it would be
Yeah,
great if,
yeah.
a whole bunch of us could show up one of these years.
Yeah, another
Yeah. I don't
idea.
know what it all takes to do that.
Thank you, Carol.
We one time. I know that we'll talk about it later. But all right, talk about it later. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's partly why we're here, is to coordinate all of our wonderful activities together. And um, so it seems like you'll have an opportunity to discuss whether or not the second or third weekend is the best. And if for some reason it needs to be the third, that might be something to add to the program of the retreat, would be as an after type of thing. People could tune in virtually if they wanted to. As you said, it would be at 3 o'clock, might be just after the
Yeah, everything
in-person
is ended
workshop.
by then. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And so we'll be continuing on a little bit with some business that we have, and then we'll do all of our check-ins, which I'm so excited about. So uh, we do have some letters that we'd like to send off. Actually, I would like to send one today after we get a chance to talk about it. So there are two, maybe even, I think there's even 4 letters, but definitely 3 that need to get sent. And one of them is an interfaith letter to Muslim leaders from us, from IVC. The other is a letter from Muslim IVC members, and these are going out to the Muslim community in Morocco. And this will be in order to, from a religious standpoint, urge them to stop, to impel the government, or to pressure the government to stop its plan to kill the dogs and stray animals ahead of this World Cup for soccer that is going to be held there. And this happens all around the world, wherever there's big, large events. It seems as though the government has a clean the streets kind of program with all the animals. So we're trying to engage with the World Cup, and there are collaborative groups that In Defense of Animals is working with, some in England that and also in Morocco, that are working to stop this by meeting with the World Cup organizers. And this would just be another way for us to have impact, is to send these letters. We do have Altamush Saeed, who's, many of you know him and have hosted him on different events, and he's going to be sending out the letter. And we can also ask Zara Abbas, who's part of Green Islam. So we're hoping that we have one letter that gets sent out to the from our coalition members who are in the faith, and then another one that just comes out from our organization in general, or our coalition, that says, we stand with these people, we're urging you to make this change. I'll get the letter up and I'll put the link in there. I realize it's possible. Let me just check to see if I'm able to share screen easily. I can share the letter. Let's see here. I've got a couple of the letters right here, and let me see if I can do that. If not, I'll just send everybody the link. Okay, it looks like I can, which is wonderful. So here we go. This is the letter, and I can also share the link with you. So here's the letter. And this one, I'm moving up so you can see we have some instructions. So what we're trying to do in this letter is to recruit a group of Muslim leaders to meet and participate in a campaign to pressure the Moroccan government to stop killing homeless dogs. And this letter is going to be sent, from me on behalf of the IVC to the Muslim contacts of our own IVC members. And then from here, there's another letter which we'll look at in just a moment, that will be sent by our IVC Muslim members to their personal Muslim contacts. So, so here what I'm doing is requesting on behalf of the coalition that we can send this letter, and then we have some instructions. So the letter itself is an urgent appeal to stand with Moroccan imams defending compassion towards animals. And Judy graciously wrote this particular letter. We put in there some of the possible signatories. I know Compassion Consortium is listed. It's not an official Muslim organization. So that one we can take out. I was thinking we would put in here just the ones that were officially Muslim organizations, and that would be the first 3 of these organizations. Now, if you feel you would like, because you've offered programming that relates to the Muslim tradition, we can keep your name in there. For example, I know Compassion Consortium has hosted several different Muslim leaders, so that would be also an option. So the idea here in the letter, it goes over that, and hopefully you can read it here, but if not, I'll also post the link, and it's in our agenda, and also I'll put it into the Zoom chat here. But the mission here is to raise the suffering of animals and also awareness of the sacredness of all life. And there is a law being considered. So I did some research. It turns out the law has not been passed. This law is being considered. And this is going to criminalize the feeding, sheltering, and medical care for stray dogs. So basically, they're going to criminalize taking care of street dogs. We don't want that. So we are saying that it's opposite to the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, and then goes on to say that the clauses in that law would undermine trap, neuter, vaccinate, return programs that are really helpful in the country. And then also goes on to say that in here it says that there was a recent sermon stating that dogs are not haram, reinforcing that mercy towards them is aligned with Islamic principles. As an interfaith group, we can certainly say that mercy and compassion for animals is aligned with nearly all religions. So we're encouraging everyone to sign on to this letter, and then also to share, to let us know by emailing partner@idausa.org, which goes to my colleague and our communications director, Fleur Dawes. She's really in charge of this. So we did decide at our last meeting, thank you for those who joined our planning meeting, to remove all of the names of our partner organizations, because most of them, probably 60 of the 65, are not Muslim associated groups. So we just thought we would leave this in this way. Any comments, anything from our coalition that you might want to say? Do you feel like let's go ahead and do this? Any concerns? Let's see here. I'll go back to the letter. Looks like I'm sharing. Feel free to unmute yourself if you'd like. If you have something to say, I'm going to go ahead and stop the share at this moment so I can see everybody a little bit better. Barbara is saying thumbs up. Any concerns anyone has? If not, I'll go ahead and send this letter out. Okay, very good. Thank you. This is the one that is on behalf of our coalition. And there may be times where we don't have a meeting coming up, and we hope we have your permission to send out letters on behalf of the coalition, which we have done in the past. But I thought this, since we have a meeting, we'd be able to address everyone together. Now, one other letter I'd like to share. This one, it's a little longer, but we won't go over it in depth. So the second letter, I'm going to go ahead and then pull that one up, and then I'll share my screen and we'll look at the second letter, which is right here. I'll go ahead and share that. So this is the second letter, and this one is specifically coming from Muslim leaders, so it has more of the Muslim texts involved. And so this aim of this letter is really to recruit other Muslim leaders who would join this campaign. And so we're asking Altamush, who has agreed to send this letter out, and we'll also address this with Sarah Abbas. And if any of these partner organizations or coalition member organizations who have contacts with other Muslim groups, please, or Muslim leaders, please feel free to also send this out. We really would like to make sure that we can recruit as many as possible. So here, we're just reviewing, approving the letter, and then it will get sent out to some Muslim contacts that we have in Berkeley, California, I believe at a university there. And then if anyone has contacts, you're welcome to send them over to me at my email address or to interfaith@idausa.org. And I'll also send out the link. It'll be in our notes and I'll put it in our Zoom conversation as well. So this one, says, we write to you with deep respect in the spirit of Rama Islamic Brotherhood and our shared commitment to the care for all of Allah's creation. Then it goes into discussing the new national law that's proposed and looking at how troubling it is. And then there's various quotes from the Quran and stories. I won't go into all of them here, but it mentions here again that there's clauses that undermine current efforts to trap, neuter, vaccinate, return. And then there's, in this letter, it's more of an expanded version of what we already reviewed. It does include more direct references to the Quran and Allah specifically, and then invites the Muslim leaders to register their interest for a strategic meeting. And this meeting would be an opportunity for leaders around the world to collaborate to protect these homeless dogs. So again, here are some of the groups that our communications director and director of international partnerships flagged as ones that were related to Muslim teachings. But I think that likely we would just include the first three, since the other groups don't specifically have a Muslim in the organization, leaders of the organization. So unless you would like to. So that's, again, up to the Compassion Consortium if you'd would like to be considered in this, or if you'd prefer. I can probably say that some of these are not specifically Muslim organizations. So if it was me, I would just have the first three, which I know are Muslim organizations. And I'd just love to hear anybody's feedback on that or on anything in the letter itself. So I will go ahead and stop this share and then open up for just a minute or two of conversation here. Any thoughts on this letter? If anybody knows a Muslim person in their community who they think would be available to do this, please let us know. Okay, looks like we're getting some. Okay, both letters getting in the comments here. It looks like. Okay, thank you. So for any of these folks, especially our partner organization, Animal Interfaith Alliance, I just wanted to acknowledge that we'll ensure that we don't include the coalition, the entire coalition, since it's best for just the Muslim organizations. However, Barbara Gardner, if you if you have any other Muslim organizations that you'd like to send such a letter to, that would be helpful, I think. And if not, that's okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I think looks like we've got some positive feedback for these 2 letters, and we'll go on to our other letter, which is again in regards to dogs in a country that is predominantly a Muslim country, and this would be Turkey. So Turkey has a law that they've signed actually already, and this one is to kill like 4 million street dogs, and we have been actively working to challenge this. And so this letter is slightly different, but similar. So I'm going to go ahead and open that particular letter, and we'll just take a look at that as well. Now, this one is different because it's not going to the Muslim leaders. It is actually, this one is coming from, it's a letter addressed to Pope Leo. And I know we had another idea in our previous meeting, a meeting that we had with some of our coalition members about a letter to Pope Leo. And we've had this incredible action that was done by Barbara, who's with the group in Poland that addressed the Pope. And so I thought we would take a moment to talk about these things too. So our letter to Pope Leo, I'm going to go ahead and share that so we can take a quick look at that. Okay, so here this one is coming out, on behalf of the IVC, and the idea was that it could come from some of the Catholic member organizations, but it is a plea for mercy for Turkey's homeless dogs and cat, and this is ahead of Pope Leo's visit, which will be happening in November. So this one I've been asked to send out today if we do agree on it. So it says, Your Holiness, and goes into a little bit about members of our coalition. We're moved by his commitment to peace, justice, and compassion, especially with regards to animals. And we are writing him about new legislation in Turkey, which has begun the largest mass killing of homeless dogs and cats in modern history. And we are asking that that he make mention of this during his visit. And so this is something we would like to ask. We've got a call to action here that that he could speak out publicly in defense of Turkey's free-roaming animals and call for the repeal of this mass killing law, urge the Turkish government to embrace non-lethal population control methods, just like the trap, neuter, vaccinate, and return, and encourage the Catholic leaders and communities in Turkey to act with mercy and intervene to protect these animals. And then recognize the suffering of the animals as a violation of our shared moral and spiritual values. So here we do list some of our member organizations. Again, we can take out the ones that are not Catholic or Christian if we believe that that would be more effective. So just wanted to hear from everyone, since this is something we do hope to send out ahead of Pope Leo's journey, which is coming very soon. So I'll go ahead and stop the share of this so that we can have more of a chat. Any thoughts on this? And also, do we want to include all the member organizations in this particular letter?
Could I just say,
Yes.
Lisa, that all these actions, great though they are, they're just mopping up. We should be campaigning for an end to the pet trade, I feel. Not just exotic pets, but all pets. It's really a slave trade, or they treat it as toys or slaves. And this is going to continue, these sort of actions, cruelties. And like the RSPCA in the UK, it's just hopeless trying to help, against cruelty when the government is allowing practically anyone to get pets and practically anything can be done to them, So we should be trying to end the pet trade, I feel.
Well, that is definitely another ask and a much larger one. This one is very specific to this particular law, and we're hoping to get a victory by defining it that way. So if our coalition is okay with that specific ask, just about this one law in this country, in Turkey. Yes, go ahead, Suzanne.
First of all, Virginia, thank you for what you said. And I think that is an initiative we should definitely take up. In terms of including a variety of member organizations that are not Catholic, I think include them. That's just my opinion. I think it gives him the sense that it's not just Catholics who are appealing to him, but a broad spectrum of people who are of different faiths, which I think he, and I think most religious leaders respect that. And I certainly get that sense from him. So I'm just speaking, putting myself in his shoes and thinking, that would create even more of a sense of importance. So to include the non-Catholic organizations in the letter. And I think the letter is excellent.
I agree with Anne. As
And
far
it's actually Suzanne. I'm just on a different that's
Sorry. I know you're Suzanne.
I know you do. But
But
anyway, go ahead.
Yes, says Anne right there. Yeah, I agree. We should leave all those signatories on. Yeah.
Okay, so this is slightly different from the Muslim letter, which in that case we're saying let's only put the Muslim organizations on, but in this case, because of our familiarity with Pope Leo and his stance, we want to include all the different organizations, and we can certainly do that. Wonderful. Well, thank you. And Virginia, there's definitely some support for your call to action that you shared with all of us. And I know Charlotte who's with us now is interested in joining with that. And I also think another type of another way that we could impact that is by doing almost like a little proclamation ourselves of what we would like to see in the world. You know, maybe that type of those broad sweeping changes that we'd like to see, we could put into some kind of proclamation of what we would like to imagine. In fact, during the retreat over the weekend, we did have this opportunity to envision what would it be like, this new world of Homo Ahimsa, and it could include something like that, where we put that down on the onto the IBC website or into some sort of proclamation where we could say that we would like to end the pet trade. We would like to, have cruelty to farmed animals also ended. We could put a list of things that we'd like to see, and then address that or share that with different, as we think it's appropriate, or in a media release or something like that. So I think there might be a way to do a call to action that's very broad.
Can I add something to that too, which is related to what Virginia was saying? I've recently started working with a new organization called the PA Voters for Animals. And one of the initiatives we're doing is reaching out to boroughs and towns in Pennsylvania that do not have pet stores that sell animals. And at first I was a little perplexed. And then when I asked the woman who started it, why are we doing that? She said it's a lot easier to put something in place before it starts than after it's already started. And so I'm working in my little borough that I live in to try to gather some efforts that the council, the borough council here would pass a law saying that if a pet store were to move here into our jurisdiction, they could not sell pets. And they've already passed this in a couple of the jurisdictions in Pennsylvania. But our goal is to shut down all sales of pets, including birds and reptiles and fish and so on. So I'm completely aligned with what you're saying. We're starting very small, but I also like the idea of what you just said, Lisa, a proclamation.
Yeah, and we've done this in the Los Angeles area, just to let you
Yes.
know. So in West Hollywood, we just recently passed a ban of sales of pets. And in that community, there was only one pet store actually that would affect. But it was, like you said, a good precedent for other communities. And that's a great strategy.
Yeah. Well, we are looking at West Hollywood and modeling it after that as well. So familiar with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's been great. And that's part of we have a campaign to end the reptile super shows, and we've been working with PETA also on this project. So this is something that hopefully will spread far and wide eventually. So thank you, Virginia, and to Suzanne. Those are really important comments, and we can even think about working on some kind of proclamation. We have our own declaration where we've all committed as we join the coalition to promote and follow a vegan lifestyle with our vegan values. But another thing we could do is have kind of a something to accompany that, which is a proclamation of what we'd like to see. So if you are interested in working on that, say aye, or you can put your information in the chat if you'd like to help work on some kind of proclamation. Because we did actually, as a group, many of us went to the Parliament of the World's Religions, and they have a whole set of proclamations and various things. And it might be good for us. We're asking other groups to change what's on their proclamation, and now maybe it's actually our turn to create one for ourselves, and then we can also use that as a model when we're talking to other types of groups. Okay, so we might be in touch with you. Those of you who raise your hands regarding the proclamation. Let's do one more show of hands so we can just get that. So we've got Suzanne, Sarah, Virginia, me, Barbara, and oh, Charlotte as well, and Stella. Great, fantastic. This is good. I hope we can get this in our notes. If you want to just put your hands up one more time, I'll try to do a little photo so I could do that. I'm so sorry, that might be easier. One more show of hands real quick, and we'll do a little photo there. Keep holding them up for one more second. 1, 2, 3. Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Thank you all so much. Now it's recorded in our notes, and also I have a picture just in case. So thank you. Okay, so now we will move on to, we've got just a little bit more business, and then we can get into all of our updates. So those are the 3 most important letters. We have a letter that we had before that was to the Archbishop. I think we did review this once before, and I haven't sent it yet. So I'll go ahead and send that one. If you wanted to look at it, I can do a quick share. And this one looks like this. Letter to Memphis Archbishop. And what we're doing is we're writing asking the district attorney to urge the prosecution of a reverend there who drowned some cats. And so we're looking to just send this out. I know In Defense of Animals sent this letter, and we were asked to send it out on behalf of our coalition. So it's asking the person to be disciplined over this particular clergy member who is a reverend there. So we'll go ahead and do that unless anyone has any objections. I'll stop the share and we'll get all these letters sent out. That'll be my goal for this week, is to ensure we get our letters actually sent. Wonderful. And then we'll go on to The next thing on our agenda here, just wanted to take a moment and talk a little bit about, we have some projects that are on our agenda each time. We've got our Parliament of World's Religions update that I'd like for Nayana to talk about in just a moment. We have a lobster boil fundraisers campaign that we are actively working on. And then we are starting with a glue trap ban. And this is something that we're working with PETA on. Could be PETA Lambs. I don't know if you want to share about that, Sarah. And then also Jacob, who's we invited, he could come present to our IVC meeting one time. We now have a new person at IDA who's working on Bay Area campaigns who will be collaborating with these groups, Michelangelo Torres, and he'll be working on the glue trap ban. But right now, since we have Nayana here, I'm wondering, would you be willing to share a little bit about the Parliament? And for those of you, let's see if we still have Nayana here. Maybe not. She was here just a bit ago. So if she comes back, we'll have her share a little bit more in depth. But the Parliament of the World's Religions, it appears that they may not be hosting an event in 2026 as we thought. And so for the 2023 event, we had Charlotte Cressy, who led our flock in trying to create 25 different speaker presentations. And we did urge them to look at their proclamations and documents to change them to include animals in some way, and then to perhaps have a vegan track or some kind of track about the care of animals. And we put a lot of effort into it, and we didn't get a lot of response. And we took another opportunity to debrief and rethink what we're going to do next time. Some of us may attend and ask questions of existing presentations. We may still have a table there. Those are things to decide, but it doesn't appear that they're going to have one in 2026 because they don't have anything on their website yet. And Nayana, when she was at the weekend and spoke on Jainism there, and we're hoping to support her efforts to slowly engage she is on the trustees. She's one of the board members there on the trustees, and we're trying to slowly support her in moving the trustees forward towards vegan programming. And she suggested to us that, I know we've talked about this in the past, but she suggested that we make a small donation. And this time it would be, oh dear, we lost Estella. Oh boo. Well, hopefully she'll send us a little update, and then we'll continue. In just a couple minutes, we'll move right into those updates. Wanted to share that, so Nayana will provide some information for us about what to say, and it would be nice if we had, instead of a large donations, it'd be small donations that we can attribute on the donation that it's going toward our care and concern for animals, and that our contact there is Nayana Shah. So I will ask her to provide the language that we want, and then we'll send it out along in our email Google group to everyone. And if you do make a donation, you can let her know that, and it would say that we're part of the Interfaith Vegan Coalition, that we are sending the donation on behalf of urging them to consider the importance of veganism and also of animal sentience in their in what they're doing. Okay, oh dear. Well, I would love to hear a little bit, if anybody has even a minute or two, if they could share. I know it looks like Sarah had to leave as well. Well, we'll move right into that portion, and I think next time we'll just do the sharing first of partner organizations so we don't miss out. Okay, so let's go ahead.
I'm also happy, this is Charlotte. I'm also happy to continue a separate discussion about the Parliament if you want to.
Yes, and we had talked about doing a meeting perhaps with Nayana. That might be a good next step, that we engage like Charlotte, Nayana, anyone else who'd like to join. I don't know if Barbara Gardner, if you want to join that on behalf of the Animal Interfaith Alliance, we could have a little side discussion there about the Parliament and strategies. Okay, well, Wonderful. We'll go ahead and send an invitation to do that. And we really appreciate everybody. Here comes Carol back. And so let's, I think the only last announcement that I had regarding a business is that I had this revelation that coalitions don't necessarily put together newsletters. It's usually organizations. And since we're a coalition, I know Animal Interfaith Alliance, you have a fabulous newsletter that you send out. But I was thinking for our strategy, what we can do is each group send out their own newsletter to the coalition just by using the email address that I shared earlier, and we'll make this very prominent on our notes. It's Interfaith Vegan Coalition member organizations at idausa.org. If you send your message to that email address, it will go out to all the organizations, and we would love to have all the letters, newsletters, announcements, anything you want to send to go to everyone, and then we'll know what's going on. And then perhaps we will put together some messaging from the coalition as well. But doing the regular newsletter is a bigger project that we would need more help for. So moving along into our partner and also our member organization updates, I guess I could just say who would like to go first. Does anybody here want to raise their hand and go first? Or if not, I can call upon people if you prefer. Okay, why don't we have Charlotte, would you like to go?
Sure, I'll share. I'm a little bit in between things. I'm waiting for the Cox internet guy to come because my internet keeps going out. So
No
yes,
problem.
I'll keep this brief, but I work with two groups, and the first one is my business, the Vegan Paradigm Shift, and the goal with the vegan paradigm is to help vegans and pre-vegans go higher in all areas and take the animals with us. So like Virginia was speaking to, and the conversation began earlier about holding true to our values. I'm all about that. And so it's really the first personal development system that brings in the depth of ecofeminism, positive psychology, human potential, neurolinguistics, really bringing it all together to help us fulfill on our potential. And I'm doing a webinar, a free webinar Thursday, November something. I'll have to pull it up because I'm updating. Okay, it's going to be Thursday, November 13th. But so that's my big thing. And I'd love to share some other time with you all why I started it and the gap I saw in the vegan movement for self-actualization. But that's all for now, the vegan paradigm shift. And the second big thing for me is working with the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. I discovered them when I was actually 9 years old, and I'm very blessed to have Dr. Neal as a role model in my life. And we are celebrating our 40th. I serve on the President's Council in a volunteer advisory promotional capacity, and we have some parties happening around the country. We have a gathering on Sunday, November 2nd. And I'd love to invite anyone in the LA area. That event on the 2nd will be celebrating our wins. And even if you have your own organization, it's really, I like to bring a collaborative spirit to what we do, just like you all do here. And we're really about celebrating the wins for the animals. And so I'd love to share that invite. If you all know anyone in LA who should be there, I'd love your help getting the attendance higher for that. And just sending so much love around. I love the ferocity. I love what Virginia said earlier about the pets. I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine who's vegan the other day, and we both feel that way. Yet most people wouldn't know that about the vegan movement because the vegan movement or animal rights, animal welfare often shy away from that because we fear that we're going to be too controversial. But absolutely, all keeping of pets is slavery. And my heart is absolutely broken when I see the fish and the birds in the pet stores. And I talk to them, I pray with them, I ask them to work through me and guide us. So I'm just feeling so blessed to be here. I can't always make these meetings, but I'm like, wow, I'm so happy that Lisa sent out 3 emails today about it, reminding us, because I was like, Okay, I'm late, but I'm just going to jump in, even though I'm disheveled and a mess and doing different things. But I just love you all so much. And you all give me faith that we're going to create that vegan world, and sooner than others may know.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
You're
Thank you,
muted,
Charlotte.
Lisa.
That's so great. We're with you and we're all together, so it's fantastic. Why don't we're gonna, and Suzanne, do you want to go next?
I do, because I want to speak directly to Charlotte, who's a beautiful, whatever mess you said you were. Anyway, I wanted to ask you, are you on the ethical vegan mental health providers listserv?
Thank you. That's a great tip. I've not heard of it.
I need if you put your email in the chat, I'll send you the link to it because it just sounded to me, everything that you were putting together for that November free would be a good thing for these therapists to know about, number one, and a lot of them have vegan clients.
Mm.
So it may be a way to get the word out about what you're offering.
Thank you so much. And that has been the number 1 feedback from the participants who went through the 8-week course last year was I didn't even realize they were suffering from depression, and some of them had big turnarounds in
Yes.
that department. So I am thinking of taking the mental health angle more and more. So
I don't know
thank
what I'm a retired psychologist, which is why I'm linked in with them. But anyway, so I wanted to make sure I got that out. And the other, I'll make
Yeah.
this very brief. And I represent both Vegan Spirituality Group of Philadelphia, which Lisa started, and then she moved across the country, and I took up the mantle with some other people. And then the post-animal use world, which I do with another colleague. But I was struck by Carol, Reverend Carol, talking about the Fillmores who were advocating veganism 125 years ago. And there's a book that was published, a history of Benjamin Lay, who was a abolitionist primarily, but he also lived, they can't say for sure, but a vegan lifestyle in the 1730s. He is buried in Abington, which is the next town over. So Marcus Rediker, who is the historian, is coming out with a children's book about the fearless Benjamin Lay. And he's this man is amazing, Benjamin Lay. And so I just think all of you might want to be aware of it. It's on the meetup for the Vegan Spirituality Group of Philadelphia, because we're going to have an event here in the Philadelphia area, which obviously doesn't work for most of you. But I just think he's an important figure to know about, and how sometimes these people have to be resurrected after 300 years, after 100 years. So anyway.
Wonderful. Thank you
Suzanne?
so much, Suzanne. And if there's anything from the POP project that you wanted to update us on?
Basically, these things that I'm doing, I mean, I try to promote other organizations and things like the Marcus Rediker event that's going to be happening here. Obviously, we have a Thanksgiving celebration that we do every year that's usually attended by about 50 people in our area, all vegan potluck. It's wonderful. And I just post about a lot of events that are sort of a crossover between PAW and vegan spirituality. So thank you. And my newsletter, I did add the email. So I think we're good. And we put out a newsletter every month.
Suzanne?
Yes.
Now, it has the play about Benjamin Lay already happened?
Yes.
Okay, so.
Now, it could be going other places. It was in Philadelphia in the spring. And they are actually even thinking about a feature film, which would be fascinating because he was a hunchback dwarf living in the early 1700s and was fearless. and was kicked out of every Quaker meeting that he went to because he was a revolutionary, both in terms of anti-slavery, but also his stance. He would not ride a horse. He made his own clothing. He grew his own food. He would not eat animal products. He was a man ahead of his time.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. Let's go ahead and have Emma. Do you want to share? I noticed your hand was up and
Thank you. Yeah, I'll keep it quick because I know we're like over time. I want to say I'm sorry. I'm a little embarrassed because I got distracted when you were discussing the proclamation about like pets in stores, I think. I didn't raise my hand because I didn't know what I was agreeing to, but I'm pretty sure I probably agree with it. So if someone can like let me know just in the chat or something, we don't need to take time out for that. But yeah, so I'm here representing Shemayim Jewish Animal Advocacy and also the Peace Advocacy Network, which is interfaith, not any specific religion. And yeah, we just had the Jewish holidays, so not much new stuff to report for Shemayim. That takes up like a whole 4.5 weeks. But as far as for Pan, on November 1st, which I just found out was World Vegan Day, or was reminded of, we will be opening applications for our Vegan Activist Academy, which will run from January to March of next year. So I'll make sure to send like the link for that and the JPEG to share around when those open. But yeah, just want to say thank you, and I'm just inspired by everyone's work, and thanks for letting me speak.
perfect. Thank you so much, Emma, for what you do. I really appreciate. And I know you're with Pan and Shemayim, so I don't know if there's something going on with Pan that you want to share or
Sorry, yeah, the Vegan Activist Academy is a PAN program.
got it. So that's the Pan and the others were from Shemayim. Yeah, please do send the different newsletters for both organizations, and we want to ensure that people know that they can join these things or they can help promote them maybe through their own organization. And yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you. Let's continue along. Just if you do want to be next to speak, please raise your hand. Otherwise, I will call on you. And why don't we have Stephen Kaufman? Steve, are you there? Would you like to share a little bit about what's going on with you and your organization?
Yeah, I'm here. CVA, Christian Vegetarian Association, still doing our thing. We do some leafleting at Christian events, not quite as much as we used to, but we're still doing it. It's a matter of getting volunteers in different locations, sending out e-newsletters, trying to support our membership on their spiritual journey as well. So that's kind of what we're doing.
Great. So you've been holding the torch for this organization for a while and sending out newsletters, which is a huge project, I have to say, since I haven't been able to get one out in quite a while.
Right.
But that's fantastic that you're doing that. You're keeping your members apprised of what's happening. And please do send your newsletters out through the email that I mentioned. So it goes out to all of the member organizations here. And that way we can all stay connected to what you're doing as well.
Right. Right.
Let's see, and I think I'll put that specific email into the chat. It looks like I haven't done it yet, so I'll do that. Let's go ahead and if we have, can we have Barbara Gardner? Would you be able to give an update for us?
Hey, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, you can't see me, I'm afraid. I've just got a new computer and I realise the camera's not set up yet, so apologies about that. I'll do that soon. I don't think we've got any specific updates at the moment. We're carrying on as normal and hopefully supporting some of our member organisations, but not really anything to report this time. So I'll hopefully have something for next time.
Well, thank you, Barbara. And I don't think we're here during one of our previous meetings, but we did do some acknowledgement of you and your year and what has happened for you. And we just want to offer you our love, our condolences, and our support.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. So that means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yes, we're all part of our community of love and of veganism, but also of friends. And we just wanted to let you know that.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
So let's have, why don't we have, oh, Barbara. We'll do two Barbaras. We'll do our second Barbara. Or both Barbara, first, second, they're both equal in our eyes. So Barbara, would you like to share? I know you've had some really interesting updates as well.
You mean me? Yes. Yes.
Barbara.
Okay. Okay. I'll try to be fast. I sent you the short report to the list about my mission to the Vatican, in fact, to the Castel Gandolfo. So what happened, I was surprised that I managed to hand the letter that some of you have signed. So I did through some of the officers. So the letter was handed, but we are still collecting the signatures all the time. And I also asked everybody now to sign, no matter what religion, what worldview. But I think I also sent it out to you, so you kind of know. And this is just the first step. I plan to press more, and maybe I will. My plan is to ask now theologians. Some of them signed the letter, like the people who wrote books on theology of animals. And I will try to kind of ask them and insist on, so they press the Pope, because the teaching is so important. Like without this, down there in the church, not much, in my opinion, happens. So anyway, this is an ongoing project, and yeah, but this, I was very happy that I managed to deliver this this letter. So this is one. Another something I want to share with you is that in Polish Parliament, a law was passed in the first chamber. So it's not done completely, but we are hoping that it's going to happen. The ban on breeding the animals for fur. And what's also very, very nice is that for the first time, our group, Christians for Animals, was invited to the parliament to speak for this law. And it was also, the reception of this was very good. Like, these were the new arguments in the parliament, because this goes for like many, many, many years, like 20 years, for example, or maybe even more. So all arguments are known and everybody's bored, and nothing happens. But for the first time, this Christian voice was expressed there, and it was very well received. So it's not thanks to us, because it were most of all, it was the work of Open Cages organization and some other, but we supported this, and we are very happy. And one more thing that I want to share with you, because I think maybe this is something some of you can follow. I edited a book. I don't know if you see it. It's blurred. I don't know. Okay, anyway, this is a book of poetry, of the greatest poetry, not for children. It is very serious, fantastic Polish poetry. Some Nobel Prize winners are here also. We have at least two writing the poetry. And this is like 200 poems written by 60 poets during the 20th and 21st century. Also some very young and recent young people writing the poems. And it is, I'm surprised because it's out of print already, so they have to print it more. It's a great tool, in my opinion, for the activists, for the writers, for people who write whatever, journalists, because you know how it is with poetry. Sometimes you cannot express better the ideas, the suffering, the problem than good poetry. So I see, and now I'm being invited to the meetings, and some celebrities are interested in some, and some actors want to use it for their work. So I see that it works. I collected these poems during my work for many years, but yeah, you maybe some of you can think of something similar because it's going out of this bubble out there to people who just like literature, who are artists, who do meetings with poetry. And this is just specific subject, but by this we are telling in different way about the suffering of the animals, about the problem, about the philosophical, ethical aspects of what's going on. So this is something I wanted to tell you.
Thank you so much, Barbara. And it could be, we could do some sort of poetry. Sometimes they call them poetry jam, poetry slam, but we can come up with a different word, but offer some poetry. It could be an event that is, people do readings online that goes around the world. That might be an interesting
Absolutely.
event. Even I
Yes,
was thinking
absolutely. It opens different like ways of sharing the idea.
Yeah. I know Barbara Gardner, that might be something we could collaborate on. And also, Emma, I think all of you guys do these sort of online events. We could do something like that about poetry and just have people share and and then we could promote it. I know we just someone named Joshua Awesome who does a lot of poetry and poetry events might be helpful to where to share it. So something to think of maybe for the new year or for the holidays, something, we could perhaps
I know that on some of your web pages there are collections of poetry here and there. I found them. Mine is Polish poetry, but I also have some poems from English in English, but not very many. But there must be out there lots of great poetry. And I'm by education I'm literature, Polish literature. My background, my education is in literature, so I trust in the word. I trust in the great word who goes and touches people's hearts, and much better than some documents, sometimes some data, and I see it working, so I recommend very much.
Thank you so much. This is a couple great ideas and ways we can collaborate with one another. And we also completely support your just incredible win that to reach the Pope directly. That is so rare. Absolutely incredible, incredible.
Yeah, it's so exciting that you did that.
But not to be so enthusiastic. I was the only one there at the huge conference, ecological conference. Nobody said a word about the animals, about industrial farming, about the consequences of this. So I was very disappointed. Of course, people were patting me on my arm and saying, "Oh, well, good, you are right, thank you," etc. But from the invited honorable guests and speakers, there was nothing. So I'm going to react and to write to the organizers. But yeah, that was sad.
That's good. I think that's super effective. And that's something we did with the Parliament of the World's Religions. But it is good to let them know because you're an attendee. You're somebody who paid to attend, and they do listen. At least they'll know, they'll receive that information.
Yeah, sure.
It's a good strategy.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Barbara.
Can I just ask Barbara, what was the organization that was meeting at the Castle Gandolfo?
There were several organizations, but the main was Laudato Si movement.
Okay, I know that. I got
Mhm.
it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So let's why don't we-
Because it was, if I may add, it was in the 10th anniversary of Laudato Si encyclical.
Wow, very powerful. Excellent. So glad that we were represented in some small way, actually. That's great. Virginia, did you want to do an update? And then we also have Silas and Victoria or William.
Okay, I'll be as brief as possible. Right, so I'm a Catholic animal rights campaigner in the UK. Just recently, the local authority in the area I live had a consultation about their sustainability strategy, and there was almost no mention whatsoever of agriculture, certainly not animal agriculture. And they have told me before that the reason is that there's not many farms in our area. Well, so my response to the consultation was putting all the reasons about animal agriculture and why what we do in Milton Keynes affects globally the planet in our participation of animal agriculture. So anyway, and Sailesh very kindly told me how they could count, assess the amount of emissions from animal agriculture. So I'm going to watch what comes out of this this sustainability strategy consultation, which has just ended, and make sure that they know about how to assess the footprint of animal agriculture. And then I just want to very quickly say, here are my notes, that nowadays in the UK, the word vegan crops up all the time, like in crosswords, on TV, radio, by celebrities. It's now it's no longer seen as an extreme concept, but as an acceptable concept. And I think this is because advocates have constantly used the word. So I think using the word has worked, and it will be more and more successful the more we use it. So I think we should have the courage of our convictions in this. Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much, Virginia. And we appreciate your courage and your convictions. And let's go ahead and Silas, if you're able to open your mic and share. I know you have a very important upcoming event.
Oh, hi, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good, thank you. I'm driving, so I'm not going to turn on my camera. At Climate Healers, we have been conducting these quarterly convergences. So we call them Vegan Convergence of the People, so VCOP. And so the 23rd one is happening on November 1st and 2nd in Toronto, and also online. And so you can participate either online or come in person to Toronto. And we are going to be creating a proclamation for a vegan world, Planet B, and we'll be signing it. So you can be the founding parents of a vegan world if you want to come and do that with us. And you can, of course, join online and do it as well. And then we are going to select like a few projects that can be accomplished in 6 months. So by May, and make sure that we get them done so that we have some sense of accomplishment that we're going to get a vegan world happening very quickly. So please join us. You can register at climatehealers.org/v-cop. And I look forward to seeing you all there.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Silas, for all you do. This is incredible to gather people together in person. There's also a hybrid option. So that is really, really great. And let's see, do we have from Victoria or William an update? Let me just see if you're able to unmute if you have one. If not, I believe they just finished they have their Sunday worship service on the third Sunday of the month. And that is something that just happened, actually. It was the same weekend as the Unity Retreat. And I believe they are working on this film, Miss Liberty, that they're trying to get that out into more of a national audience. I believe they've found a director, so that is very good news. And if they do unmute, we can have their update. But if not, we'll go ahead for, let's see. I know, Carol, you shared a bit about the retreat. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to share, any other sort of update?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm taking enough time.
Okay. Well, we're really grateful to have your update about this incredible event that some of us just experienced. So I wanted to just let everybody know that we'll come to the close of our meeting. Unless I've skipped somebody who wanted to say something, please do raise your hand if that happened, but hopefully we got everyone. And this meeting, I wanted to make a motion here that so the structure for our meeting was an hour of meeting and then a half hour of doing some updates. Given that many people have limited time and had to leave, I hope that we're okay with this idea. I will propose it and see what you think. If we could, we'll change the meeting to have a permanent structure where the updates and introductions go first, and then we'll have any updates from the coalition. That way, if you miss it, you'll get the notes about those things. And if that's okay, we'll go back to having our meeting it was an hour, then we lengthened it, so we have a little more time, but I think it's just doesn't work for most of our busy schedules. So let's just make a motion that we go back to the meeting being 1 hour. Any thoughts on that? Does that work for everyone?
Yes, but
I think
you
since
need.
you only, oh, go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to say, I think if we encourage everybody to be brief, then I think that will help.
Okay, thank you. Charlotte?
I think since you only meet quarterly, it makes sense to keep it 90.
Okay. Well, what we'll do then is if we want to keep it at 90, we'll just do all of the partner introductions first, which we've done in the past, and I'm so sorry I didn't do it today. But we'll just make a plan to do that. That way, if people can stay a little later, there's opportunity to go more in depth or to share, we can do that. So I apologize for not doing that this time. I'm so sorry we didn't get to hear from a few of our members who hadn't joined in a while. We will, I'll make sure everybody knows that up front in all of the future announcements, and that way they can come and just be here for the amount of time that they can join us. I want to thank everyone here. on behalf of Judy and I for tuning in today. And we are so grateful to all of you that we certainly couldn't do this without you. This is a coalition of mind, hearts, and spirits all together. And we really appreciate all of your participation on so many levels. I think what we'll do is we have a special closing that's, our IVC little hand motion, which is really lovely. And we can all do that together. And I don't know if Judy, if you had anything else you wanted to say.
I just noticed that my little thing behind you said spirit. And I just noticed it when you said spirit. Thought that was,
That is so
no, it's
cool.
behind you on the other side.
My goodness. Oh, beautiful. That is so beautiful. Thank you very, very much, Judy, for pointing that out and for noticing all these synchronicities. So
Thank you, everyone. This has been wonderful.
thank you.
Yeah, and I do agree we should do the updates first. Yeah, definitely.
We'll do that going forward. Thank you all for your patience with us today and for your help with the letters. We'll get those out ASAP. So we'll do namaste.
Vegan love.
And we send you out with all of our blessings. We're just so grateful to everyone for being part of this wonderful coalition, which is really a family of like-minded souls. So we are truly grateful to all of you. Have a wonderful and blessed evening. And our next meeting, our quarterly meeting, will be in January. So we hope that you have happy holidays of all kinds. And we'll hopefully be more incommunicado with each other because we'll send out our newsletters and holiday announcements and all those things to our Google group.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
Great.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a
Lots
lovely
of love.
day or
Thank
evening.
you.
Mwah. Mhm.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank all of you. Much love.
Bye.